Hello, welcome. I am Hannah Hibbs. This is Ciara Spencer. We are eating psychology coaches, and just want to give you a little intro of really what we do and how we are. We help stressed out women overcome feeling crazy about food, especially if they emotionally eat or binge eat. So we help them have a better relationship with food and eat normal. So again, I am Hannah Hibbs. This is Ciara Spencer. We are donut eating, veggie loving, eating psychology coach and mind body coaches. So that is why we're here. We're excited to share our stories with you and get to know you a little bit more. Also, Ciara is a diet recovery coach as well as a weight neutral coach. I would say, a slow down coach. I used to teach yoga and meditation. So our approach is very holistic, and we get to the root cause of why people have eating struggles and why they have a unhealthy relationship with food. So we all know that a relationship with food is very valuable and important. If we do not have a healthy relationship with food, a lot of symptoms come up like bad eating behavior. Not going to say bad eating behaviors, like unwanted eating behaviors, like binge eating, emotional eating, overeating, chronic dieting. We help people with weight loss and things like that. So we really uncover what is happening, and it usually comes to their relationship with food. And the way that we approach this is food is half the story of why we are doing what we're doing. And we, the people, are the other half. So our relationship with food, our thoughts and behaviors and patterns, our circumstances, what is happening in our environment, our belief system, all has the other part of our relationship with food. So I am going to share a little bit about my story of who I am. I live here in Charleston, South Carolina, and with my son. And my story begins. I'm going to start in college since that's where you guys are at, is in college. So I was an athlete all through high school. I got a full ride scholarship to play volleyball in college. And I always had a weird relationship with food. My mom made me, and my dad wanted me to eat for performances. So I was on different diets in high school to help with my athletic performance. So when I went to college, um, my mom, she was a very healthy eater. We didn't have a lot of junk food in our house. We ate very just plain healthy food, I guess you could call it. So every time that I would go to a friend's house and they had white bread or margarine or anything along those lines, I would be like, I'm hungry. Can we eat? And so when I went to college, I got free. Like I was there by myself. I got to buy the food that I wanted to buy, and I really went to town. I had so much fun. We traveled with our volleyball team all the time, and we went to buffets all the time. So I was like, I don't ever eat this food. There's rolls. Oh my gosh, rolls at the table. I'm going to go back for seconds. I'm going to go back for thirds for the dessert. It was just like this eating fest of like, I really couldn't control myself because I never had access to that much food. And so by the end of my volleyball season, I put on a few pounds. You know, everyone says you put on a few pounds when you first go to college. And I certainly did. And I did not like it. I was working out all the time and running and doing all the things I need to do, but I just didn't feel good in my skin. And me and my roommate, we loved, fitness magazines, and we loved working out. We worked out together all the time. And so after the season happened, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really focus on my fitness. I really want those six pack abs. I was looking at these fitness magazines and I was like, that's what I want. I was like, I want that. And so I started to follow these diet plans inside the magazines and really started to cut out a lot of food. I cut out fat. I cut my calories. I really like just focused on working out, and I lost a lot of weight. And it really gave me a distorted relationship with food because I became afraid of food and eating certain things. I would eat mustard on my salad. I wanted to eat the plainest food possible. If it tasted too good, I felt like it was going to be bad for me and I was going to start gaining weight again. And it really just made me go down this path of like losing the reason why I was in college was to play college volleyball. I became obsessed with my body and the way it looked and having it be a certain way. So long story that experience, I almost lost my scholarship because my athletic ability definitely went down. I wasn't as strong, as fast. I couldn't hardly jump as much because I lost so much weight, and I just became so obsessed with that. I had to rebuild. It took years to rebuild the strength to continue to play volleyball. I had to play different positions because of where I was at physically. And that was really hard because I had people looking at me like I had a problem or I had a disease. My coach even said I got issues. And I'm like, no, I don't. I just want to be fit. I want to be healthy. But it went too far. How many of us have gone too far in making food and health an obsession? And so I went home for summer and I had to work on my relationship with food. And it was challenging and hard. I didn't want to eat butter. My mom's like, just eat sour cream. And I was like, I don't want sour cream. It needs to be fat free. And it was just this fight, continuous fight with food. And I did not like going out and eating with people. I hid a lot, and so after college, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. After college, I wasn't playing volleyball anymore. I didn't have to work out anymore. And I kind of just let myself relax. And I started to eat all the foods that I never allowed myself to eat, big things of trail mix and ice cream. And I couldn't stop myself from eating them. I'd be like, okay, one more handful. Okay, one more handful. And I was just like binging all the time. And I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? It was like taking me back from like when I first went into college. And it was like, no matter how much I worked out, because I still worked out all the time, I just felt like I don't think I can get as fit as I once was. And my just the eating just started to get really out of control for me. Um, I wanted to fast forward again. I wanted to get pregnant with my husband, and I was having some complications with that. And so I decided that I would change the way that I was eating and go more. I went paleo style and really like ate whole foods. I was like, I got to eat whole foods. I got to heal my body and everything else, which I did get pregnant from that. And from that point, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to help people get healthy. I know what to do. I know what people need to eat to get healthy because here I did it for myself. And I came upon a health coach certification. I was like, I'm going to do that. Well, I signed up for it, not knowing what I was signing up for. And come to find out, I signed up for the Institute for Psychology of Eating. And as I was going through the program, and I've been a yoga instructor for 20 years. So that was also like a part of my life too. So I had this yoga part, this health part, and I wanted to kind of like make it all together. Well, when I started going through the eating psychology certification, I realized that my relationship with food was really disordered. And I started to realize the beliefs that I had, the thoughts that I had, the behaviors I had around food, and what was happening inside my body and my health of my thoughts and beliefs and patterns around food. And it just blew my mind. And I was like, whoa, everything that I basically have learned in yoga of slowing down and breathing and awareness and being mindful all was part of this eating experience that I was missing out on because I was so focused on being healthy. And it changed my life. It literally changed my life in the way my relationship. So now my relationship with food is easy and light. I don't stress about what I eat anymore, and I care about my health tremendously. But it does not always mean that what is on my plate is going to be this green salad, healthy thing. It means whatever is on my plate is the healthy thing, and it's going to serve me and nourish my body. And it's been the most freeing experience. That's why we call our business and our groups Food Freedom Confidence, because food freedom means that you get to choose what you eat and enjoy it no matter what it is, and eat with confidence. Be confident within yourself. Be confident in that what you're doing for yourself and how you're taking care of yourself is enough. We are often just striving. There's so much out there in the world that can be very confusing about nutrition. And we really look at the whole picture, right? It's not just about the nutrition, it's about what is going on in our lives. My life has completely changed since I said yes to eating psychology, and my life does not look the same. I've gone through a divorce. I'm on my own now. I've stepped up into who I want to be. I feel peace in my body and my life. And that's now what me and Ciara do is we empower other women to heal the relationship with food, which is going to in turn heal your relationship with your life and your relationship with yourself. And that's really what matters. What is health? If we really think about it, what is health? What does that really mean to you? And that's where we dive deeper into people's lives of like, what does health mean? Does it mean the size of your body, the way that it looks? Or does it mean how you feel about yourself and how you show up in the world? So that is my story. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you, Hannah. So, actually, really quick, how did Hannah and I meet? She's my wonderful business partner, partner of crime, friend. We met on the internet. We met through Facebook. So, we run two different Facebook groups. We run an emotional eating, it's called Emotional Eating Decoded Facebook group. We have about 5,000 people in there. And then we also run a smaller Facebook group called Food Freedom Confidence. So we run those Facebook groups together. So we found each other in one of those groups, and we came together and merged together as a team. So that's something that has totally changed. I know both of our businesses. I was working solo. I was working one-on-one with clients. And then when we came together, we really got to expand our business. We created courses together. And really, it's awesome because we get to be a powerhouse team together. We have totally different coaching styles, we have different backgrounds, different beliefs, but we have the same mission, which is to help women and men, but mostly women, stop being crazy around food and heal. And so, if that's one thing I would give advice about is to find other people that are doing what you're doing and stay close so you can help each other throughout the ups and downs of coaching, running a business in the ever changing health field. So a little bit about my background. How the heck did I become an eating psychology and diet recovery coach? What is that even? So like Hannah explained, eating psychology really looks at our experience as an eater. You know, health is only, and what we eat is only half the story of good nutrition. How we eat and our relationship with food is the other half. And then diet recovery and weight neutral coaching really looks at how to help people who recover from restrictive diets. So a lot of times when we've been dieting, it can really destroy our metabolism. So diet recovery helps people from a weight neutral approach, meaning we put the size of your body and your weight does not have to correlate with your health. Okay, so we take a health at every size approach as well in helping clients because 98% to 99%, depending on the study and the research you look at, of people that lose weight on a restricted diet gain it back within 2 to 5 years. So we come from an approach of how can we help people get to the root cause of what's creating their struggles with food. So how I got there is I was also a very competitive athlete growing up. I was a competitive swimmer and I did dance. And so I was a very competitive. And as I got older, first of all, I think there was a lot of attention on my body for being fit and thin. I got a lot of attention for having, quote unquote, nice body. And although being shamed for your weight is a horrendous and traumatic experience, I think having your weight commented on all the time is also a traumatic experience because what happens when that thin body starts to change is you feel like your worth and your value starts to decrease. And that's something we also go over in our programs is how to help heal from some of these traumatic events that have happened in our life around our weight. So as I started getting older, in high school, I started having really bad patterns of binge eating and restricting. I got really afraid as I started gaining weight. Gosh, I'm gaining weight. This is bad. I'm not going to be thin anymore. I'm not going to get attention. I'm not going to be loved or accepted or worthy, right? I didn't know that at the time, but in my mind, I was terrified of gaining weight. So I started to restrict. So I stopped eating, or I would try to not eat all day, or I try fasting. Intermittent fasting is just another way of saying restricting and binging, essentially. So I started fasting, and then what happens was, with most people, most humans, you cannot fast forever. You cannot just stop eating. What happens is you start binge eating. Binge eating is a symptom of restriction. So I was binge eating all the time, and then I felt really guilty, and so I started purging. So I full blown struggled with disordered eating, eating disorders, bulimia, for many years, and no one knew about it. So I kept this very hidden. All throughout college, high school, and college, I struggled with bulimia and tried to just be on the outside a perfect student, and focus on my health, even though I was really struggling inside. Um, Towards the end of college, I thought I would do a fitness competition. I thought, ooh, that'll make me really healthy and fit. If I just prove to everyone that I can get rock solid abs and be in a fitness competition, then that'll heal my disordered eating. If it's no surprise, actually doing a fitness competition completely ruined my and sabotaged any kind of health, right? So there I am on stage in my bright orange tan, a high heeled bikini, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm standing on stage, my butt's not big enough. My abs aren't lean enough. I shouldn't have eaten that extra rice cake. So even in the best shape of my life, on the outside, I looked perfectly healthy. I was losing my hair. I had horrendous mood swings. I lost my menses every month. My digestion was a wreck. I was chronically having digestive issues. So on the outside, I looked healthy, but on the inside, and then my mental state, I was completely lost my mind because I was starving myself, slowly starving myself. So kind of in that same, I had a lot of people reaching out to me. How'd you do it? How'd you lose the weight? How do you look so amazing? And so I thought, you know what? I could be a health. I'm healthy. I look healthy. I did it. I'll help people with this. Um, that was in college. I have a degree in biology. So I actually went to school to become an elementary school teacher, and did that for about a year. Didn't feel like a good fit for me. So I started doing health coaching on the side. And that's when I found the Institute for Psychology of Eating. So Hannah and I have both the same certification. And I started my certification into eating psychology, thinking maybe this is what will fix me because I'm still binge eating. I'm still having issues with food. I'm still struggling with up and down weight gain. Maybe this will help. And it did. Totally changed my whole perspective on food and eating and how I wanted to help people. So I was doing some other health coaching. I was helping people with weight loss. But what I found was that all the weight always came back, or they were constantly yo-yoing, or they just couldn't stick to it, or they couldn't understand why they just didn't have the willpower and they were still binge eating or still emotional eating. So I found that the traditional health coaching model was not working for people long term. And so that's where I started doing other alternative health coaching programs, like the Institute for Psychology of Eating. That's amazing. And then I wanted to dive deeper. I wanted to understand myself more about how to help my body recover and my mind recover from the years of restriction. And that's what led me into diet recovery and weight neutral coaching. And so from there, I've been in business as a health coach around eating psychology for about 6 years, in total. And then as Hannah and I have been working together, we've created programs and online programs to help people all across the world, which is what's so awesome and amazing. We've had clients in Canada, Australia, Tasmania, placed in Europe. I've talked to people in Africa, um, Israel, Palestine. I mean, God, we've talked with clients all over the world, and that have joined our programs to start healing, from diet culture, start healing and feeling, and finding a way of eating that really works for them. So we have an intuitive eating approach, but also the eating psychology approach. So we have a very unique approach of how we help people. So as far as looking at this question of what we would recommend, or what we would encourage you as you're figuring out your health promotions degree and your health coaching, is figuring out what are you passionate about? Who are the people that you like to work with? What really gets you excited? And start looking at what makes you feel good. And like Hannah and I's stories, our stories of struggle with our health is what led us to the path we are today and helping people the way we needed help. So that's something to consider too, is what are you passionate about? What's something that you've overcome that you want to help people with? And then considering coming from an approach of getting to the root cause of whatever some of these eating and food challenges are. So, Hannah, is there anything else you want to add?
That was beautiful and great. And when I was in college, I went in as a computer science major. When I went through um, my eating challenges, I changed my degree to sports management. So I completely changed my career path based on my obsession with food. So just a thing to remember that what we do. And I love what Ciara was saying is like, yeah, what are you passionate about? Um who is it that you want to work with? How do you want to change people's lives? Because that's really what you're doing. You're helping them find a path of health that is going to work for them. And yeah. So thank you for joining us. And these are our ways that you can get a hold of us. It's our email address, our IG handle, as well as our Food Freedom Confidence Facebook group. But we've created lots of courses like Sierra was talking about and programs to help people with their relationship with food. So we are excited for you guys to find your journey.
Thanks so much for letting us share. And if you have questions or have further questions about what we do, please feel free to shoot us an email. We can set up a chat. We love what we do. We're very passionate, and we love helping the future generations of health coaches. So please feel free to reach out. And thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. I love